How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name is Meerschaert. That's my boy, Will. This is where we talk all things combat sports. Today, we are covering UFC 319. We're covering absolute, utter dominance in the championship fight, middleweight championship fight. We're also covering some crazy spinning back elbow knockouts. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified anytime we go live, to have fight reactions, to talk about these amazing cards, to I don't know, possibly talk, different UFC news that might pop up, sometimes fighter interviews. Notification bell goes a long way. But if you don't like watching, you like listening, got other ways, right, Will?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts if you just want to listen to audio. We highly suggest YouTube because you can be in the chat with us. You can be featured on the show. It makes the show a lot better. Plus, we show clips sometimes, show photos, all that stuff. And then if you want to follow us, it's just at Story of the Fight on pretty much everything: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. Go to storyofthefight.com. It'll list all those links. You can just click through, hit follow. And then there's merch. Ramiro's got a sick-ass Story of the Fight shirt on right now. Look at that.
Look at that, dude. Story of the Fight podcast. Let's go. A couple different variations. Actually, exactly two. Just a couple.
Yes. Not even that one, I don't think.
Yeah, really? Not anymore?
I think we only have blue. No, we did black. Yeah.
I think we did.
Just kidding.
I think we did. I had the gray one, actually, that we didn't have on there. But yeah, that's the one. Yeah. That's the one. All right. Well, hey, let's get into it, man. UFC 319. We'll go ahead and discuss the main event, which was Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis. Okay. There's a lot of chatter about this one right now, Will. There's a lot of people talking about this, right? And there's people on both sides of the coin right now, and I'm curious to see where you're at. But let me just tell you what the buildup was like in the Ramirez household. Okay?
Yeah.
So, my kids, they know I'm really into MMA. Mm-hmm. Super excited. I'm excited about this one. Well, there was an amazing promo that was put on, not by the UFC. I shout out to whichever fan actually made that promo, but it would give me goosebumps, right? And I'm so pumped about it, dude. We're sitting down, we're eating lunch, and I told my little guy, and I was like, hey, dude, you're going to want to watch this fight tonight. And he's like, for real? He's 12.
Oh, no,
right?
dude. Oh.
And I was like, yeah, check this promo out. And he goes, Dad, I got to watch this with you. And I was like, yeah, dude. 2.5 rounds in, and he's like, I'm going to my room. And I was like, no, that was how it went. But look, dude, I was super excited for this fight. Khamzat, we've been saying for years already, this is the guy that's going to be contending for the belt. He finally is getting his title shot, going up against Dricus Du Plessis, who some before might have considered a bit of a dark horse in the division, especially when you had the likes of Izzy in there, right? When you had Alex Pereira in there. When Sean Strickland wins the title, you're like, okay, Dricus probably has a chance. He has a solid chance of getting the title. But then he defends it.
Against the same guy, but
right. So he defends it.
But you compare the fights. The first fight with Sean and the second fight. The second fight was just a landslide. It wasn't even close. Whereas the first fight, some people I leveled up. So, but because it was
Dricus really leveled up.
Well, Sean is also tricky. He's a tricky fighter, and the first fight you could see how that it took a while for Dricus to kind of figure it out. It was a close fight. Some people thought Sean won. I didn't, but. Then in the rematch, you saw a different Dricus, but the same Sean. And you're like, oh, Dricus is elite, dude. He is. Yes. He can make these changes, whereas Sean couldn't.
Yep. Hey, shout out Ganscow joining us, saying crazy amount of strikes landed for there to be no damage done. And look, we'll get into it here. So the fight itself, right? Yeah, shout out Ganscow. The champ's here. What is it, 10 seconds into the first round, we get our first takedown?
Yeah, and he's now, I believe, he's now taken down every single one of his opponents within the first minute of each fight.
Except for Meerschaert.
True.
I think
but he did knock him down.
Knock him out the first 10 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, count it.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll talk about Meerschaert a little bit later too. But yes,
Yeah.
quick takedown, and then in the very first round, you see him working for the crucifix. Right, he's in side control. You see him grabbing that arm and trying to put it in the crucifix position, and you're like, oh, he's getting close, and he does put him in the crucifix. At this point,
Yes.
they're both still full of energy. Dricus is in there. He's not really getting hit too hard. He's trying to posture up, his neck as much as possible so that he's not taking too much damage, getting himself in an awkward position for Chimaev to be able to land heavy shots. So instead, he's like these little baby rabbit punches.
Yeah.
He tries to buck out of it a couple times. There's a couple times where I was like, oh, he's close. But, dude, Khamzat's just so good at maintaining that position.
Yeah, and if anybody could just buck out of a crucifix, it would be Dricus, Like, he is one of those guys that just...
He's so
massive,
big for the division.
And he's just one of those guys that, like, if you have strength, you can kind of muscle your way out of positions that normally people can't muscle their way out of. But then if you also couple that with good technique, you're very dangerous, and you can pull off some pretty crazy shit. And we've seen Dricus do that a number of times with sneaky technique coupled with his crazy strength. And this time there was just no chance. There was no chance.
Yeah.
And
no chance.
Going into this fight, you had picked Khamzat. I picked Dricus. And I think the reason I picked Dricus, I was telling shout out Coleslaw, but I was like, honestly, I'm super split on this one. But if I had to guess, the most likely scenario is Khamzat will take him down early, and he'll probably have success with the grappling. But we've seen Khamzat slow down in 3-round fights, and I don't think he's going to be able to finish Dricus. I think Dricus is too durable and too good to get finished by Khamzat on the ground. And I think as the fight goes long, Khamzat will start to slow down, and Dricus can then start to pull off some Dricus shit and kind of maybe run away with it. We've seen Dricus go 5 rounds. We've seen Khamzat slow down, is where I was kind of thinking.
Yes. Oh, okay. So you're thinking the further this goes on, the more this favors Dricus.
Yes, and then while you're watching the fight, it's there's so much nuance to that, because if you're fighting a guy who we've seen slow down, like if this guy will slow down as the fight progresses, sometimes you can fall into a trap of maybe taking it easy in the first couple rounds and thinking, let me just let him work. I'm not gonna do nothing, but I'm not gonna exert myself too much, because the whole game plan is to fight on the back end of this fight more so than the front half while he slows down. But it's a double-edged sword, because if you don't do enough to make that guy work in those early rounds, they can keep doing that for the whole fight. That's his bread. This is Khamzat's bread and butter. In the fights that we've seen him slow down, Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, they made him really have to work for those positions, and they make it a back and forth fight where he is having to work and exert himself. Then he slows down. Dricus didn't do that. Dricus really didn't do it. You see him in a crucifix not really do much other than, like you said, he bucked a couple times. You have him, his left hand here, he's got it around Khamzat's neck, and he would pull himself to kind of align himself to defend himself from damage. But it's not really like something that Khamzat has to work through. Or he'd turtle up, go to his knees up against the fence, where Khamzat just lives pinning guys up against the fence on one knee, trying to sink one hook in and smash him a little bit. That's not work for Khamzat. He's not going to exert himself and
he
slow
could do
down.
that all day.
And he did. That's the point that I'm trying to make, right? Is I thought Dricus might like Khamzat will have success with the wrestling. Nobody's gonna absolutely stop his wrestling. It's not gonna happen. But if you fight him well enough and you defend, and Dricus is durable, I was like, he's not gonna get finished, especially early. Khamzat will slow down, and then Dricus can start to impose his game. And I think that was probably their game plan, but I think he just didn't offer enough in the first half of this fight, and maybe he couldn't.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, I've been reading a bunch of different pages and things like that. A lot of fan chats and people saying Dricus didn't do enough. Dricus accepted the position. I don't think he accepted any position. I don't think that he didn't want to do anything. Like, dude, this guy's an animal, man. Dricus is the real deal. He's an elite fighter. And you saw it up until the very last minute of the fight. Dude was still trying his best to keep the title.
I will say in the first round, I do believe he was holding off. I don't think he was.
You know what? Maybe.
But as the
his coach too, you know, in
Mhm.
that second round, I think it was when he was taken down again and he was up near his own corner and the coach just kind of looks at him and laughs. And Dricus looks at his coach and smiles.
Yeah.
And I think they're both thinking like he's wearing himself out. Dude, we got him right where we want him.
Exactly. But if
Yeah,
you
you
don't,
might be right.
But if you don't offer enough resistance, he's not exerting himself the way that he is in those fights where we have seen him slow down. So he's just not going to, which is tough. And then there's that realization moment of, okay, I dropped the first two. This is where we need to turn things around. And then you get taken down immediately again. And you're like, oh, fuck. And then, I mean, I think he had like 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time in this fight, in a 25-minute fight. And there was two stand-ups that honestly, in my opinion, shouldn't have happened. And
yeah, my boy, dude.
Yeah, so
Mark
it's like
Goddard.
if those stand-ups didn't happen, what would those numbers be? It would be even more. You know,
And Will, we talked about how like there's been two sides to the coin, right? With fans on this one. Ruben saying I grew up wrestling and loved every second of it.
Mhm.
And literally the very next comment, shout out Anonymous as well, and Ruben for joining us. Anonymous saying, this fight reminded me of why I don't watch the UFC. Like literally one comment right after another. And this is exactly where everybody's at, right?
Yes.
And fans are going at each other's throats. Arlo's King says, couldn't believe Dricus got crucified 5 times, did not get finished. That was insane.
Yeah. Because normally crucifix, that's a wrap. And that's one thing I will I don't want to knock anybody on this fight too much because I did enjoy the fight. I thought this fight was equally as impressive as it was not exciting. It was very impressive.
It can be
was
both.
Not exciting. It can be both.
It can be both. It 100% can be both.
And I think in those positions, those crucifix positions, yes, Dricus was doing a good job of putting pressure on Khamzat's neck to align himself to, go chest to chest almost and face to face where he doesn't have a big opening to his side. But there is absolutely more risks he could have taken to get off stronger ground and pound in this fight, and he chose not to. And
I think that the elbow could have been there a couple times, but he knew for a fact that if he did posture up a little bit to land 1 or 2 elbows, that Dricus would probably be able to turn into him, probably get into a half guard, or do something where he wouldn't have that dominant position. So I agree with you there. There's also two sides to the coin with the fighters, right? You have Demetrius Johnson that's praising the performance and saying, hey, if you do not like watching grappling, don't watch the UFC. So he's saying, hey, it was a good performance. It was good.
Yeah.
Then you have one of my favorite fighters to follow, Paulo Costa, saying, illegally streamed the fight and I want a refund.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny, bro.
But it is crazy because, like, this is mixed martial arts. We had 2 back-to-back spinning back elbow knockouts going into this fight. The card delivered, I thought, wholly. I thought it was a very good card. The main event was maybe disappointing for people who want like a slugfest or something, or just more striking and stuff. Hey, shout out Sam, show we've been waiting for, and shout out Ghost. Ghost is in the chat.
Shout out Sam and shout out Ghost.
But look, if you're looking to escape these dominant positions on the ground, right? You're only going to do that by giving up some position or opening up some holes for either submission attacks or ground and pound. You have to give up some defense to be able to get out from somebody or go for sweeps or improve your position or get up. Like, there's risk involved with that. A lot of this fight, Dricus wasn't really taking many risks to get up or anything like that, which is fair, especially early on in the fight. I understand the game plan, most likely. But that the flip side of that is also on Khamzat's side. If you want to finish somebody on the ground and land big shots, do damage, get submissions, you also have to open up some holes for your opponent that potentially they can exploit, right? If I posture up to land big shots, there's a gap there that now my opponent may be able to hip up or push a leg across and escape or something like that. He wasn't taking those chances. Same thing with submissions. To go for a submission, you have to leave an opening for your opponent to either try to scramble, little things like that. And both these guys, neither of them were really willing to give up those small openings. And so we ended up with the fight that we ended up with. But
But
that being
a
said,
dominant one nonetheless from Chimaev.
one of the most dominants in challenger history. I mean, he broke the record, I think, for.
Were you surprised by the scorecard? By the score?
I thought there'd be more 10-8s, if I'm being honest.
So did I.
There was only one.
So did I.
Round 3 was a 10-8.
So did I. I was shocked that there wasn't more 10-8s. And hey, Samsung, was this the most dominant performance by a title challenger since John Jones first won a belt?
No. John Jones is very impressive. I mean, I don't like the guy, but Conor over Eddie Alvarez is insane. Just utter dominance.
Who did Amanda Nunes just absolutely mop up? Do you remember?
Pena. Technically, yeah. She was a title challenger, right? She lost the fight, and then she just fucking smoked her in the ring.
Hey, dude.
But she was a talent challenger in that fight, so.
I want to say there's somebody else where she like crushed him on the scorecard, and it was like 50-40 or something like that.
As a champ or as a challenger?
As a champ.
Oh, well, this is as a challenger.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. It was good though. It was good.
Yeah, very good. But the stand up in the last round, we started to see Dricus land some good shots. He landed a nice right straight that Khamzat straight up ate, and then he took him down again. But then he takes his back. He almost gets a choke in. He starts landing some ground and pound. The last couple of minutes of this fight was very exciting.
Hey, and I got a question for you, and I got a question for everybody that's in the chat right now. So feel free to answer on the chat. Also, if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to put it in the comment section. Mark Goddard, thumbs up or thumbs down on Mark Goddard stopping the action once when they were up against the cage and Khamzat had his back, and then another one where I want to say he was in Dricus's guard.
He was in his guard the second time,
right? So, what are your thoughts?
I don't think. Look, those stand-ups. All things considered, those stand-ups made the fight better. But from both those stand-ups, there was a little bit more action as a direct result of those stand-ups. Makes the fight more exciting, I should say. Maybe not better, but exciting. That being said, I don't like them. I'm not a huge fan of those stand-ups, if I'm being honest. I think, let champs work. If you're getting taken down over and over and over again, and you shouldn't be rewarded with stand-ups if you're continually getting taken down like that. Like the takedowns themselves are impressive. There wasn't much ground and pound. He wasn't trying to pass most of the time, but most of the time he was ending up in side control. He had his back, things like that. Guard, but even when he was in his guard, it's not like he was there for a while. But
I was waiting for him to stand him up when he was in his crucifix, dude.
I know, right? And then But the argument can be made, and this is what Herb Dean alluded to in the Sean O'Malley versus Merab fight, where people were criticizing his stand-ups in that fight. He was like, "Look, there's a certain way they want this product to look, and they let us know that." So, do I agree with the stand-ups on the sports side of it? No, I don't. But the stand-ups did make the fight more exciting. So.
Yeah, it does. It does. But is your job as a ref in there to make the fight more exciting? That's the rough part.
Sounds
for me,
like
I get it.
Sounds like maybe the part of it is.
From what they're being told, huh?
Yeah, from what Herb Dean said about the Merab Sean O'Malley fight, it sounds like they are being told, let's keep it moving. But
yeah.
And I don't think at any point he was stalling. I don't think Khamzat was stand-ups are supposed to prevent guys from stalling. I don't think Khamzat was stalling at any point in this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
What do you guys think?
Let's see what everybody said in the chat, though. The stand-ups are only good when it benefits the fighter. I like, says Ghost.
Hey, shout out Ghost. Agreed.
I think that's true for a lot of us, right? Like,
yeah.
Depending on what side of the coin you're on, you're like, oh, okay, good. Or you're like, hey, what's that all about?
Hey, you worked so hard for that takedown.
Anonymous says, stand them up if Khamzat isn't trying to finish or advance after 3 minutes of control. Ruben says he was working bad stand-up, seeming like he was listening to the crowd.
Dude, this fight is so split, dude.
It really is.
Yeah, it really, really is. And it's really they're all valid points, to be honest. Nobody's wrong, I don't think.
100%, man. Dana White saying getting dominated the way he did is no fun for anyone. It's going to be a long ride home to South Africa.
Fuck, damn, Dana.
brutal, dude.
No, but I
Like,
actually
that's
liked Dana's
illegal.
comments on this fight. He was like, shout out Arlex King said stand him up, let him bang.
I do
gotta
like
have-
that.
Yeah, there you go.
But I do think, man, it's just he's so fucking dominant, dude, and the tenacity of his takedowns. He just does. Once you defend that initial takedown, you got to get the fuck out of there. You can't even let him be. If he has a finger on you, he's gonna end up back on a shot. I mean, it's just crazy. And Dricus, to his credit, never looked defeated, in my opinion. There was a couple times in like maybe the fourth round where it looked like, oh, he might be starting to look like Edson Barbosa versus Khabib, but then he's still after it. So I gotta respect him for that.
There was a time too where you had Khamzat that almost landed the RNC, the rear naked choke, and I was like, oh man, it looks like Dricus is about to let this one sink in, and he fought it off.
And he didn't. He didn't.
Dude, he's tough, man.
And they stand him up with after the stand up, the last one, he won the rest of that fight. Throws the high kick, he hits him with the right cross, he takes his back, he lands some ground and pound of his own. So he's still in it. I still like Dricus a lot. I do think.
Sure.
Who do you think? Here's my question to you and also the audience. But there's a lot of contenders emerging right now at middleweight, and a lot of people are like, who can beat this guy? Who's going to beat this? He was so dominant, and it's like, well, we've seen him struggle with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, so like he's not. This was just a very good performance, but it's not like he's untouchable. Out of these guys, we have Imavov versus Bahalio soon. That's probably a number one contender fight. We have RDR, who's a fantastic jiu-jitsu guy, who's very good at sapping people's gas tanks. We have Fluffy, who's an expert grappler in his own right. I think that might be, for me, those are the four that are like right at the top, right at the cusp.
Yes.
Who do you think wins against Khamzat out of those four guys? Who do you think is the most interesting matchup for him?
If you ask Sean Strickland says it's Sean Strickland. And that he
Sean
beats
Strickland
him
actually,
in
in
grappling
my opinion,
all the time in the gym.
In my opinion, the Sean Strickland fight, I don't even consider him he's indefinitely suspended, so I won't even consider him. But to his credit, he's got good takedown defense. I don't think it's enough for Khamzat, but he has good takedown defense. The most interesting part of that matchup for me is solid takedown defense. Sean is very good at making his opponents move backwards. And I don't think Khamzat is as tenacious as a wrestler if he's on his back foot. So if Sean can impose that, just walking him down with teeps and jabs, I think that is an interesting matchup. I'd like to see Khamzat fight on his back foot, or does he just run straight through Sean? Because Sean stands with his feet very close together, and he has good takedown defense, but he also hasn't really fought crazy wrestlers. So it's like, how good is it really? But out of those four guys, Fluffy, RDR,
Give me RDR.
Imavov, RDR. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see RDR in there. And again, because of the grappling, right? And with Gilbert, the fact that Gilbert was giving him different looks when he was off his back, right? I think that RDR can give him some of that.
Which, like we said at the beginning of this episode, will make him work, which will make him slow down.
Yes. So I think RDR is a very interesting matchup if they were to do that. Let's see, Ghost saying, I love RDR, but that's a bad matchup for him since RDR is content playing on bottom, but his knees could be an interesting problem for Khamzat. Not saying it'll work.
It's one of those things. That fight will be a hindsight is 2020 type fight, because there's two ways I could see that happening. RDR just texted me, said it's good actually. No, RDR has crazy self-belief, man. That guy, he wants this fight. But we've seen jiu-jitsu guys get just utterly smashed by wrestlers who just completely neutralize the jiu-jitsu game, and they're just smashed, right? But like you said, Gilbert Burns, the jiu-jitsu was the factor that made that fight very interesting and made Khamzat struggle. And then there's the knees, like Ghost says, like if Khamzat is continually walking onto those knees and diving onto those knees, that's an interesting variable. So that fight, after it's said and done, it could easily be, well, yeah, of course the jiu-jitsu guy got smothered and never got a chance to throw up any submissions and he got smashed the whole time. Or it's, well, yeah, Gilbert Burns gave him trouble with jiu-jitsu, so of course RDR is going to. I do like that matchup. It's very interesting. But give me the Fluffy fight, dude. I want to see Fluffy versus Khamzat.
I think that'll be really good, for sure. Anything else on the main event?
No. I mean, I think that's it. I think he broke the record for most strikes landed in a fight, which is hilarious.
Like over
because there wasn't
500
much damage.
Right,
Yeah.
it was like over 500 strikes, but I think it was like 30 something significant strikes that were landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, for me, impressive nonetheless. So,
Definitely.
we have spent close to 30 minutes talking about the main event, but the fun thing about it, though, again, is that we're seeing every side of it right now. Every
Definitely.
side.
Yeah, I love the discussion. So sick.
Yeah, it's so much fun. All right, we shall move on to the co-main event, which was exciting. We had Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico.
Yes, and shout out Combat Sports Today and Vinny Talks. Vinny was in the cage or in the arena, not in the cage, and he got this sick ass clip. So shout out to them of this spinning back elbow knockout that completely flatlines Aaron Pico. Great fucking video, Vinny. Very cool.
Yeah, great angle because
yeah.
it's like a perfect angle where you see Lerone like hop up on the cage on his side too, and you
Straight
see his
to
corner going nuts, dude. It's so
Yeah,
awesome.
very cool.
Man, going into this, there was a few analysts that said, "Hey, after talking to Pico, I'm a little concerned because of who it was." Dustin Poirier specifically was saying like some of the things they mentioned were like, "I think Pico's going to come in a little reckless. These
Pico.
lights are different. The stage is different. Like he has been in the cages before, but this is a little bit different." And some of the things that he said that specifically he had practiced the post-fight speech that he was going to have with Joe Rogan multiple times already.
Ooh.
And so Dustin was like, man, I think that this is just getting to his head a little too much. Like he just needs to focus, on the fight when he has in front of him. And you could see that from Pico. And Pico's always been an aggressive fighter. Like he's always wanted to put on a show.
Foot on the gas.
Right? And so
Which
that's
has been his downfall.
Yes. And no different in this one, right?
Yeah, I think we both picked Murphy. Murphy was the underdog. I know a lot of people were picking, even though he was the underdog, I know a lot of people were picking him just because they're like, oh, UFC debuts are tough. And they are. We've seen people struggle with UFC debuts. But the reason I picked him at least was because I think a lot of people are kind of like, before this, I think after this is a very different story, but a lot of people going into this fight are a little down on Lerone Murphy because his last couple fights have been kind of boring. And people will like, that will sour people's opinion on how good they are. You know, we've been singing Lerone Murphy's praise since he got into the UFC. This guy is so fucking good. You can just see his fight IQ and his like in the fight decision making is so fucking good. He understands all these angles and positions, and you know when to strike off the break and things like that. Like he's just a very complete fighter. And I thought, man, Pico is a destroyer. He is a freight train that comes through people, and he does hit hard as fuck, and his wrestling is incredible. My biggest question going into this was like, oh man, if he does employ the wrestling, I don't know how Lerone's going to deal with that. You know, Josh Emmett took him down, but he popped right back up. But Josh Emmett isn't fucking Aaron Pico. But after that first takedown, he took him down early in the first round, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if Lerone gets up from this in this round. And then he did, and I was like, well, this might be a tough night for Aaron Pico now. That was my biggest question, is how is he going to deal with the wrestling? He popped right back up. He shot again. He got him on a ninja choke. That was pretty fucking sick. And I was like, oh, no, dude, I do think Lerone's got this. And Pico is good, man. He's fun to watch. You see him throw that left hook to the liver, and it's fucking devastating. You could see his power. His power was
left hook to the liver was nasty, man. It was
every
really
time
good.
He would hit Lerone, even if he had his guard up, he's like knocking him over, and you're like, God damn, this guy hits hard. But
yeah,
you know,
Lerone said afterwards, he's like, I said that I was going to use his aggression against him, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
There's a couple times he said it really stood out. The first one was a step in knee, as
knee
Pico
was
was
nice.
just like coming in full force, right, to meet Lerone, and Lerone was backing up, but he stepped forward all of a sudden with that knee to the body. That was beautiful. And then, of course, the spinning back elbow, man, like the way he just stepped off and timed that perfectly. And I want to say it landed right by the temple.
Yeah.
And his head just bounces back. Oof.
God. And then the follow-up shot was fucking nasty, dude. There's a shot of it landing here next.
Look at Herb.
And it's
his hand out. I thought he was going to dive and put his hand right over Pico's face just to save
I'll
it.
take a
you know
bullet for you. Yeah, but no,
he didn't.
he dropped it on him. It's there it
Look,
is.
oh my God.
Nasty.
Rough.
Herb's like
He was out for a bit
apprehensive.
too,
Herb's the opposite body language of trying to get in between it. He's super apprehensive to get in there, which I understand.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and it was cool. It was a cool entry from Aaron actually, because he fainted and then hopped off to the side to create an angle, and then was going to come in with a big shot. But as he hopped off that center line, he just got met with that fucking elbow. He literally jumped right into it. I mean, just beautiful timing from Lerone, dude. And we've seen this from him in the past. He's just so good in these moments, dude. In the in-between.
What's next for Lerone?
Title shot.
It's got to be,
Title
right?
shot. Yeah, look at I think the next picture, Rich, is there it is.
Ooh.
You have to do it. I'm sorry. I was a big Evloev deserves the title shot. He deserves the title shot. He deserves the title shot. He was supposed to fight Pico. He pulls
Dana
out.
Jr. over here, bro.
Yeah, and then no, Dana was the one that wasn't giving him the title shot. He deserved it, but this game moves fast, dude. It moves so fast, and that's why I was like, he deserves it, because this game moves fast. I don't want to see him get passed up. Let him get his shot, and now here we are. Lerone Murphy has a knockout of the year like caliber knockout, and he's next.
And so let me read this off to you, Will, and for anybody listening, you let me know what you think. But think about Aaron Pico. I'm going to name a couple names. You tell me Pico or the person I name on who you think would win this one, all right?
Okay.
Ready? Pico or Giga Chikadze?
Pico.
Pico or Ige?
Pico.
Pico or David Onama?
Pico.
Steve Garcia, Pitbull, Gene Silva.
Pico. Now we're talking.
So now we start thinking about the top 10, right? So you're saying, hey, Pico probably beats everybody 11 through 15. Now we have Gene Silva, Yusuf Zalal, Josh Emmett, Aljamain Sterling. So you think Pico can contend
would be sick.
top 10 and still be competitive, but it's going to be a tougher road.
It's a tougher road for sure. That's when I do believe he's a top 10 UFC fighter. We've seen him. This isn't new. Anybody who's watched his career, we've seen this happen. You know, his aggression is one of his greatest weapons, but also one of his biggest weaknesses, because he does get caught. But he's still so skilled. He's so talented. On any given night, he can beat a lot of guys out there. But yeah, that top 10, you start throwing some question marks. Top 15, I think he handles those guys pretty well. Okay.
And maybe that's what they give him next, right? Because they gave him number six or seven. I can't remember exactly what Murphy was. I think that's where the next fight is. Give him somebody 11 through 15. Yeah. And see how he does there. And then let him continue working his way up to the top 5.
Yeah, I think Ige is fun. I think that's a fun fight. Steve Garcia even is actually a really fun fight. Pico versus Steve Garcia would be cool. But yeah, it's tough, man. Like I said, UFC debuts are fucking tough.
But after yesterday and just seeing what I did before he got knocked out, I'm really excited about Pico being in the UFC.
100%. 100%. I think it's not like he made an egregious mistake. It's just he got caught being very aggressive. You know, it's not like he had some lapse in technique. It was actually a very cool entry. Lerone's just very good, you know?
Yeah.
It was a very cool entry. It may be a little bit labored, you know? I don't want to say telegraphed, but it was like, it wasn't super fast, you know? There's some guys who will hit that sidestep very quick. We were talking about TJ Dillashaw earlier. He's someone who could hit that no problem. Some of these guys can do that. Good. But Lerone is just good, man. Go back and watch. Well, maybe don't, because he fought on some pretty bad cards. But every time we've talked about Lerone since he started in the UFC, we were like, dude, this guy is very, very good.
And I get it, Will. 5 fights in a row that he won by decision. I get it, right?
Yeah,
one of them was a split decision.
Anybody for that?
Yeah, but he's good.
Dude, people are like decision merchant for certain guys. Who gives a fuck, dude? One of the best of all time, you could call a decision merchant in GSP.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it. We want to see finishes. Finishes are cool. But some of the best fights ever have gone to decision. most of the best fights of all time went to decision. So, like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? What are we talking about? I'm not saying Lerone Murphy's fights have been, like, all-time great fights, but
Yeah.
I've always been very entertained, and it's always been very interesting to watch him fight because he's so goddamn skilled. I love him. He's one of my favorite
Gustafsson
fighters.
versus DC. Gustafsson versus John Jones.
Oh.
Like some of these ones that went to decision was just an absolute war all
Bro,
the way
Forrest
through.
Griffin versus Stephen Bonner went to decision.
Oh yeah. That was
You know?
like the one that really started bringing everybody in. Good call.
Yeah.
All right,
Ruben says Volk steamrolls him. What do you think?
Ooh, it's a good
I think
fight, dude.
I think it's very fun.
I think it's a fun fight. I don't know if he steamrolls him, but it's tough for me to continue going against Volk. Remember all those times I would go against Volk and Volk would just win? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going for Volk. Then Volk gets steamrolled. And I was like, oh, no. Then I go against Volk and he wins the title back. So I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I'm just not. I'm like the opposite of a Volk whisperer.
Yeah, but I want to see it.
But I want to see it. Absolutely. All right. We shall move on. We had Carlos Prates versus Geoff Neal. Oh, wait. Before we do, Will, pretty cool that Dana was telling Joe who was getting a bonus, and Joe was announcing it in the octagon. Like he did that with Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, I was like, damn, he fucking stealing Chatri's thunder right now. Someone asked me about it in the post-fight press conference, and they were like, are we doing that moving forward? And he was like, oh, no, it's just because there was only 3 fights left. So, like, obviously he's going to get a bonus. Might as well tell him. He's like, when you get a knockout like that, you get it, like, in the moment.
Yeah.
And he's like, but also, there was only 1 fight left when Lerone Murphy got that knockout. So he's like, even if the main event gets a bonus, Lerone's still getting one. So let's just say it. Which I think it should be. I love the way that one does it.
But risk. Like, if he's like, hey, you're getting a bonus in the second fight.
Exactly.
All the fights afterwards have, like, really good. He's like, oh, I don't know.
Actually, take it back. He doesn't get the bonus.
Can you imagine? Joe goes out there and be like, hey, sorry for the guy earlier that got the bonus that's being taken away. But the good news is you're getting it, you know? Oh, my God.
No,
that
dude, it's
hilarious.
It's like when someone gets flatlined, like Kazama, and they're like, throughout the card, they're like providing updates at the hospital. They're like, hey, guys, this just in. Turns out Oleksiejczuk knocking out Meerschaert, not nearly as impressive as the spinning back fist, so the bonus is out. Just so you guys are aware.
That'd be so funny. All right. Carlos Prates versus Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. Prates coming off of his first loss in the UFC, right?
Correct, yeah. Against Ian Gary, who's very good.
Yes. Hey, okay, we'll talk about Ian Gary. Don't let me forget about this.
Okay.
But Prates, I was really excited to see how he would handle that first loss. He was the first one from Fighting Nerds to get the first loss in the UFC.
Out of their, like,
so I was really curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And against Geoff Neal, who's no slouch. He's got a lot of power, right? Actually, over here from Dallas-Fort Worth. Shout out Dallas-Fort Worth. But he looked fantastic, man.
Dude, what I really liked about this fight is it started off and Prates was on the front foot. And I was like, I don't know if that's the move against Geoff Neal because Geoff Neal struggles to cut the cage off. I think as the long fighter, you should be on the outside circling and making him follow you and walk onto shots. If you're meeting Geoff Neal, if you're walking into Geoff Neal, you're giving him half the fight just in that. And letting him exchange with you is dangerous. And we saw Geoff Neal crack him a couple times, and I'm like, "Ooh, god damn, he still hits so hard."
Yeah.
And then he started fighting off the back foot, and you saw Geoff Neal actually improve his cage cutting a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And these
By the
guys,
way, this picture, do you remember that boxer Ricardo Mayorga?
I don't remember Mayorga.
No, I want to say Nick Ogwin, Ricardo Mayorga. Fought a lot of the best fighters out there, really known for his wild style. He would be drinking beer inside the ring after winning and smoking a cigarette in the ring after winning. But that's who he reminds me of, dude, with that mustache.
And the cigarettes.
And the cigarette. Yeah, true. But to your point, Will, when he started having Geoff heading his way, he started mixing it up a lot more.
Yeah.
We mentioned a step in knee earlier. Prates had a beautiful step in knee.
Yeah, he did.
Then that step in elbow straight up the middle as Geoff Neal was coming in.
It's like that unlocked
Muay Thai
an idea
style
in his mind.
Yeah, dude, the Muay Thai style that he brings to the UFC, this style we see more often watching one.
Definitely.
You know,
well,
but seeing him in the UFC is so much fun.
Yeah, I think he's training out there in Phuket, and he's got Muay Thai. Literally, one of the funniest tattoos in the UFC is just Muay Thai across his chest. But
Yeah.
he is very good at it. Very good at it. And Geoff Neal was there for it, man. And I was watching this with Brian. Shout out Brian. And we were like, after like the first couple minutes, I was like, oh, I think these guys are gonna start fucking trading. I think this is gonna turn into a fucking slugfest. And then, I mean, look at this shot. Most people don't eat this shot from Geoff Neal. This is he hits hard, dude.
From Hands of Steel, bro?
Frank Camacho told us hardest he's ever been hit was Geoff Neal.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Luque brain bleed from Geoff Neal punches. So the guy cracks, and I can't imagine him hitting you any better than this shot right here. And Prates just straight took it, dude. Never even wobbled.
Hate it.
But then, like you said, he steps in with that elbow, and I was like, oh, now we're starting to open up this toolbox, you know?
Yeah.
And then right after that elbow, he fucking steps in and hits him with the spinning back elbow that completely ices him. Out cold. Drops down 1 second on the clock, by the way, when they called it. He literally waved it off right before the bell rang. Holy shit, dude. And this was before the Pico fight, so this was insane. And then, obviously, the Lerone Murphy-Pico fight right after this, another spinning back elbow. But, dude, he was iced with this elbow.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes, dude. Absolutely loved it. And it almost looks like, because he wasn't, like, completely out, right? He was just back, but when you see his eyes, man, and he's looking around, just like either there's like a ringing in his head, or he's trying to get full visibility back, or like you just know like something was going on at that point in time where he was like, "Holy shit!" Like I just got hit with something really gnarly.
Bro was in the shadow realm. He was coming back to his body at that moment.
Yes. He saw his own body floating above himself.
It was like Get Out. He was in the sunken place, just as he's zooming back into it, coming back to reality. Insane, dude. Shout out James.
Hey, shout out James. Yeah. Go for it.
He says, what? Hot take. Muay Thai is not a style. Even within Muay Thai, there's a bunch of different sub-styles like Mat Kai. Yeah, of course. But
yeah, I shouldn't have said style. More like seeing this martial art in, practice a lot more in the UFC.
Well, I mean, I still think there is, when you're talking about mixed martial arts, even like you could say that about really anything, like even boxing style. If someone has a heavy boxing style, that could mean so many different things, right? There's so many different styles inside boxing. Same thing with Muay Thai. Same thing even with jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of guys who, there's like, there's just different types of. I mean, there's even wrestling. There's Greco-Roman. There's folk style wrestling. There's all this different stuff. Yeah. So when you come to mixed martial arts, I still think you can generalize a little bit, and you don't have to get super specific on the type of style unless you're really getting into the weeds about it. So I still think it's fine.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. All right. We will move on because we still have quite a bit to cover. We have Cannonier versus MVP Michael Venom Page. By the way, Will, look, we had submitted our picks through social media, right? I picked Khamzat, you picked Dricus. We both picked Lerone Murphy. I believe I picked Prates on the last one. You picked Prates as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. On this one, I picked Cannonier. You picked MVP. Right?
Good indeed. Yeah.
Good pick, my man.
Look,
good pick.
This is a toss-up for me because there's variables in this one that you have to really think about. Is MVP not really a middleweight, in my opinion. He's a welterweight he had a middleweight fight against Sharp Bullet, and it's like that doesn't really come into play as much because he's not going to get grappled or anything. Whereas this fight, Jared Cannonier, he's already a strong middleweight, so he's going up against a guy who's coming up from welterweight, who's even talking about going back to welterweight. So it's not like he is like, I'm done with welterweight. I can't make that weight anymore. I'm bulking up. I'm middleweight now. It's not that. That's not the situation. So I thought, there's a lane here for Cannonier to really pressure this guy, hold him up against the fence, be strong, make him feel the strength. And there was a couple times that happened in the first round, but even when he did, MVP would turn him around up against the fence. And I was like, oh, MVP is good. He's going to be fine, I think.
And that's what I was thinking. I thought the key to success was that clinch game and just trying to make it as dirty as possible up against the cage. Yeah. But to your point, I didn't expect that type of strength and leverage being used by MVP that we ended up seeing him using. And dude, that karate style that he has, in and out, low hands,
Dude.
So lightning fast with that straight right. That kept
I mean,
on
look
landing.
at this. Look at this shot. You don't know, he's so good at feinting, and you know he's so fast, and then he can cover so much distance that you have to worry about each feint. We talk about all the time, guys. Either they feint too much or they never feint, and then, but if they never go, you don't really have to respect the feint because you're like, well, he's just feinting. That's what he does.
Yep.
MVP, you have to respect every single feint because if he does go, he's right on you. And this time he's going to the body, but Cannonier's blocking up top. The next shot, I believe,
all bored in the background.
I know, not even looking at the fight. This time he's timing this leg kick, and he fucking cracks Cannonier, sits him down, stands over him, lets him get back up, and then he's like, relax. And you're like,
dude,
fuck, man, what a menace, dude.
If you're
what a
Cannonier,
fucking menace.
And that happens, like, what do you do, dude? You're like, fuck.
Dude, yeah, you're just like, God damn it, dude. And you know, you try, you keep trying, and he did, but you could tell he just couldn't solve it, man. He just
and is
could
it
not solve
the second round where then he lands a 3-punch combo? I want to say he
drops
comes
him
in with
again.
like a right, left, right, drops him, and then MVP just like mocks him, like starts walking all wobbly, and he tells him again, like, dude, like,
Yeah,
chill,
dude.
man.
It's okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
settle down,
oh.
settle down. Meanwhile, Cannonier's spinning across the cage like Brock Lesnar when Cain Velasquez hits him. You're just like, God damn. But then this moment here is actually where Cannonier's strength at middleweight, I think, kind of played out because he catches him off balance here and just straight body checks him. And it's not even like a real takedown, but he ends up on top. And then at that point, I'm like, I don't think, we talked about Lerone Murphy getting taken down by Pico. I was like, I don't think MVP's getting up from this. And most of that third round was Cannonier on top, but could not get anything off. Couldn't get anything off.
Went for, I believe it was a Kimura, right?
Yeah,
and,
which
for a little bit
I
there, I was
thought,
like, oh,
dude,
might have some
Kimura is literally known as the strongman submission. So this whole time going into this fight, the biggest question mark was how is he going to deal with the strength? When he starts locking up a Kimura, I was like, oh shit, dude. But then just like the cage grappling, he was fine.
Yeah.
He was
All
fine.
right, but great fight.
James says QAnon near. Damn.
Who would you pin up MVP up against next?
I don't know. I don't know where his next fight is. If it's welterweight or middleweight, they asked him about it, and he said there's still things at welterweight that excite him. I don't know. Is he even ranked in either division? Like technically?
I don't think so.
Which is crazy. Oh no, he's 15 at welterweight. Okay.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's fun fights. There's fun fights, but I mean, he just beat Cannonier, who's ranked 9 at middleweight. So now you're like, okay, he's a legitimate player here at middleweight. I don't want to see him fight any grapplers. I'll be honest. I don't care. I know people are like, he already crushed a bunch of cans in Bellator. We don't need to see him like have stylistic matchups in the UFC. I don't give a fuck. Let's do it. You know, I want to see fun fights out of him. I think him dropping people and then taunting and shit, I know it pisses a lot of people off. I fucking dig it, dude. I like MVP.
Ghost saying
Ghost
crazy
says
matchup
Bo
of Nickel
Nickel
versus MVP.
No, it's the opposite of what I'm saying.
Okay, so this is the point I wanted to get across. By the way, you let me forget this, Will, with Ian Gary.
Ian Gary,
You have Ian Gary that recently beat Prates. You have Ian Gary that recently beat MVP. What does that say about Ian Gary?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what does that say about Prates versus MVP?
No. But that would be fun.
Ian Gary's very good, dude. People,
right?
Like, again, we just talked about with Lerone Murphy. People will let themselves forget how good you are if they don't like you. But Ian Gary is very good. A lot of people don't like him.
Real deal, man.
Dude, he had a close fight against Shavkat, where Shavkat, everyone was like, he's the boogeyman. He had a good fight with him on short notice, I believe, too.
Hey, that's our shout out to Ian Machado Gary for the week.
Shout out Ian Machado Gary.
All right. Hey, we will move on.
Yeah,
your boy Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura.
Yeah, I don't like people's takeaway from this fight, if I'm being honest. A lot of people are saying this is a fraud check, massive fraud check, blah, blah, blah. He came into the UFC, got a title shot right away. He lost to Pantoja, and now Tim Elliott. Oh, my God. And it's like, bro, hey.
Tim Elliott's pretty damn good.
Tim Elliott's pretty cool, dude.
Is he the same guy that almost beat Mighty Mouse, or that gave Mighty Mouse a run for his money?
Yeah, probably not, but he's still very crafty. He's very interesting and tricky. look, the first round, I thought Kai took the first round. And everyone's like, this guy was supposed to be this fucking super elite. Like, he was supposed to come over and be champ right away. It's like, hey, no, not really. He got the title shot because there really wasn't anybody available for Pantoja. But even if you didn't watch his Ryzen fights, there was no secret about his lack of defensive wrestling. That's always been a hindrance for him in his whole career. But what he is a very exciting foot on the gas striker. And we got that. We got that. And everyone's like, oh, the game plan, the blueprint's out. Just take him down. It's like, the game plan, that blueprint has been out. We've known this. This isn't a surprise. The biggest thing here was that he just wasn't. I think he really messed up after the first round, where I thought he outstruck Tim Elliott. He cracked him a few times. He hits him with a nasty high kick that Elliott just straight up eats, grabs the leg, takes him down. Second round, he just starts headhunting a little too much, man. His first exchange where he actually landed on Tim Elliott in the first round, he opened it with a liver shot. And it's like, dude, Tim Elliott, he's hard to hit in the head. You got to go to the body. You got to go to the body. And especially if you're worried about getting taken down, it's even more reason to go to the body. And he wasn't. He was headhunting. What did you think?
Elliott reminds me of like a Dom Cruz with not as much footwork and exaggeration in his movement, but he's very good at moving laterally constantly, right? And just keeping people on their toes. You know who must love this, though, Will?
Who's that?
Uncle Dana, right? When he brings this talent over from like a Ryzen, for example, he brings these people that are champions in other organizations to lose to their current champion and then lose to somebody in the top 15. Dana says, I told you we have the best fighters in the world.
And Pico gets flatlined.
Dude, Dana must be eating this up, and he just thinks, I tell you guys over and over again, I have the best fighters in my organization. When stuff like this happens, you know, he must be just gloating.
Yeah, definitely. And Go says, he said, I love Kai Asakura, but there's a specific idiot on SpaceX app that likes to glaze him. So when he loses, it's an opportunity to dunk on him. But he says, but Asakura is the better of the brothers. I agree. And what does the next one say? He says, definitely the better Asakura brother, no doubt. He's also fought the champion and a solid gatekeeper. Yeah, these aren't easy fights. These are not easy fights. It's like losing is the same thing that happened with Steve Erceg. It's like losing to Pantoja doesn't mean you're bad. You know, Pantoja's really fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't mean you're a fraud.
James saying, Ramiro, can you do that cool bobblehead thing when you talked about Dana? What? I don't even know what I did, but my Dana impression apparently includes like some type of bobblehead thing.
Do it again. Do it again, but don't say anything. Just
okay,
do
ready?
Bobblehead. Yeah.
That's fucking illegal.
Do it one more time. Do it one more time.
All right, ready?
Federal fucking prison.
So funny. That soundboard's like the best thing. I love it. I still don't get over it. All right. Well, I will let you kind of take the reins on these last couple fights. I will mention the fight, and you mention your favorite thing about the fight. You ready?
We'll just breeze through it. All right.
Susurkaev versus Nolan.
Oh, this was a sick fight. Susurkaev, he got a short notice fight on the Contender Series literally this past week. He wins it with a sick-ass front kick to the body, like a teep kick knockout. And so they give him, and he's like, I want to fight next week. And they're like, what, really? It's not next week. It's 4 days. And he's like, and so they book him on this one. They give him Eric Nolan, also making his UFC debut. This is a fun, scrappy fight. These guys were just tagging each other. Nolan fucking stuck him at one point. And Susurkaev does a little stanky leg real quick, and you're like, oh, shit, is this... Maybe he shouldn't have fought on 4 days' notice, but he survives. The round ends. He ends up taking him down and choking him out. But I really like both these guys, and Dana said that Nolan's going to get a contract as well, like an extended contract, because he was like, I really like that guy. So this was a fun fight. By the way,
he's friends with Khamzat Chimaev. What is it with these boys, man, where they just want to continue fighting, right? This Chechens, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Next one. Oleksiejczuk versus Meerschaert.
My boy Meerschaert. I like Oleksiejczuk too, but we can watch this one. He just fucking pieces him up. as he's framing, and then just the whole fight was him hurting Meerschaert ending up on the ground, and then Oleksiejczuk like, I'm not getting in on that.
Watch the tiptoe. Yeah, so like he drops him in the tiptoe with his arm up to land the hammer fist.
Oh,
he drops him, and then the tiptoe. Oh no! Oh, that was awesome.
The round
Good
tree,
stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, look, I really like Meerschaert. I think Meerschaert's very crafty. He's got really cool jiu-jitsu. But, you know, guys know that, and they're not going to go to the ground with him, and he struggles to take people down sometimes. A lot of his wins have come off of him getting hurt and guys following up onto the ground, and then he subs them or something. And Oleksiejczuk was like, I'm not having that. It was literally like the third time. This time he followed him up. It was like the third time it happened. So he was like, now it's time. But good win for Oleksiejczuk.
Lupita Godinez versus Jéssica Andrade.
Yes, this was I actually really like this fight. Andrade, you know what you're going to get. I think she's the worse version, but a female Wanderlei Silva who just keeps walking forward, trying to throw hooks at you.
From the hip?
Lupita, from the hip. Lupita is just circle, 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 back up against the fence, bam, right straight, circle out. Or if she gets smothered, she just shoulder into her like Mayweather and just bam. It's not really shooting a takedown, but she can hit that and then pivot off, and then she's back in the center of the cage, and then Andrade is walking towards her again. But this was a fun fight, dude. It was a lot of stick and move from Godinez in that first round where she was cracking Andrade coming in, but then Andrade, you have to fucking stop her, and she couldn't. And I thought the third round from Andrade was fucking sick. She just walked through her like the Terminator.
Will, you took the words right out of my notes. When Godinez would stick and move, it was her fight, right? When she decided to stand there and swing and bang, that's what Andrade does best.
It's what she does best.
Right?
This was a fun fight, man. I actually really, really like this fight. The grappling was fun too. Godinez did shoot a takedown in the second round, I think, and had some good ground and pound, better ground and pound than fucking Khamzat. And then, but yeah, the third round was Andrade. It was cool. James says,
down real quick. Yeah, just want to make sure we get that question from James and go for it, Will.
Do you guys think Lupi is a good title threat? I feel like a good scout could shut her down. Wink, wink. Look, I mean that goes for a lot of people, honestly, but I don't know if she's a title threat. I think she's a title contention threat. I think she can become a contender and get a title shot. I don't see her getting a belt at the current where the division currently stands. Let's say that.
Okay.
But
you have some fun fights. You have Amanda Hebas, Jillian Robertson, Tabitha Ricci, Yasmin Lucindo. There's a lot of fun fights for Lupi.
Yeah, there's definitely some fun fights, and I think she's getting better. We've seen her. She had a big breakout, and then she kind of plateaued a little bit. And look, beating Andrade in 2025 isn't the same as beating her in 2017 or 2018, wherever. But it's still, she looked good, and I think she is improving. But it was a fun
100%.
fight.
All right. We also had Alexander the Great Hernandez versus young Will Chase Hooper.
Damn, dude, Chase Hooper, my boy.
I know that's your boy, man.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see this one. All right, walk us through it, Will.
Bam, nice right hand from. You can just see, like, you see the composure from
Hernandez.
Oh shit! Did I not put? My bad, Rich. I didn't put a title card for this one for some reason. You look at him step back off the right hand. It's not like he's just overextending here. Bam, he's back. He's staying very composed. He's over his feet. But the first round, it was a lot of like kicks and spinning back fist attempts from Chase Hooper, and just flailing a little bit. And I think you can't do that against Hernandez. Hernandez is he's pretty solid. He's very good technically.
He's a vet, dude.
Yeah, he's struggled a little bit in like big moments or just snatching defeat from the jaws of victory a couple times. But man, yeah, he kind of put it on Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper looked good early.
If I could just say something about this fight, man. On my notes, I put down Hooper looks so calm in the first round. He's feeling so much more confident in his striking. One of the things that I loved, Will, is that as he was throwing that left, he would step off to the right and throw the left. So he's not in the center line anymore in case the person wants to counter. The problem with that, though, is that when you do that exact same move 7 times in the exact same round, Now Hernandez knows he could step back and he knows exactly where you're going to be, right? So now he's not aiming for that center line with you moving out of the way. Now he's stepping back and landing right on that side where you're going to be, and that's exactly what happened with Hooper. So,
yeah, and he maybe a little too comfortable, honestly.
all right, Rich, look at dude. Rich is
maybe a little too comfortable. He got a little lackadaisical too with like that the kicks and stuff like that. The kicks opening up very good, kind of sharp, like the body kick. The head kick was nice, but then he started just kind of floating him out there and leaning back, and he's got to stay the opposite of Hernandez, where Hernandez is very over his own feet. Very
like
just
Herzog's
in position.
about to jump in his guard with his arms out like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Which fight was it, by the way? There was a fight where I was like, "What is going on?" But God, somebody was on their back, right? Like trying to coax the other person into their guard, and they didn't go. And Herb Dean looks at the fighter and points at the person on their back. Like, are you not going to go? And then he's like, oh, wait, he's telling him to stand. Never mind. But I was like, dude, don't tell a fighter to jump into somebody's guard. Like, he literally looked at him and like pointed, and he was like, oh, wait.
Like, it was just for the taking, man.
I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was hilarious. All right. And then I believe the last one we're going to cover for the sake of time was Morales versus Idiris.
Yes, I didn't watch the whole season of The Ultimate Fighter, but I did see the first 4 episodes. The 4th episode is actually really good. But Morales, dude, pretty fucking good. I like him. He lost to Figueiredo. He got finished by Figueiredo back in 2018, and then lost a split decision. And they're like, "We're done with you." And you're like, "Damn, dude."
Out.
He won his debut with the first round submission.
Team Alpha Male boy,
Yeah, but this was a fun fight, dude. I think, we don't see people set up triangles in guard anymore. Well, I guess we did just see it, and then he got slammed and KO'd, but it's pretty rare. We don't see it happen and then work, I should say.
Kazuma's like, hey, dude.
Like, I just did that. Give me credit.
No, just kidding. He doesn't remember.
Yeah, but I think, man, Morales was just very impressive here. He looked like a world beater. I mean, just mixing up the striking, the takedowns. He gets him a rear naked choke. He basically survives because the round ends in the rear naked choke. He gave a thumbs up, but it's like, it's because the round's about to end, dog. That was in. And then, he ends up on his back. Look at this shot. How cool is that? Could you imagine eating that?
Nope.
What the fuck?
And I would.
Yeah, he hurt him to the body. He ends up on his back though and sets up the triangle. Fucking sick, dude. Right in front of the commentary crew. I mean, just very cool to see him. It's cool when someone gets cut from the UFC, and in my opinion, should not have been. And then they go back on the Ultimate Fighter and they go through and win, and they look good doing it too. It's not like they didn't look good. There's a lot of Ultimate Fighter winners maybe in the past who it's like, okay, but how much was the talent pool in that season? And they didn't look that great. Yeah, Morales looks good. I think he's an interesting piece to flyweight.
Awesome. All right, and those were all the fights we're going to cover from UFC 319. Do we have a moment of silence, Will?
Yes, we have a moment of silence. We did lose some fights. Let's see. Yeah, Silva was supposed to fight J.J. Aldrich. Aldrich pulls out, so Silva gets the Barbosa fight, which I thought she lost, but they gave it to her. I'm not going to try with that last one. Rodrigo Cezinando versus Donchenko. That didn't happen. No idea if anything of value was lost. But then Bobby Green versus Diego Ferreira. That was going to be a sick fight. CDF is fun. Green is fun. But he said that he can barely walk right now. You're like, oh, fuck, dude, what happened? And then the crazy one is Ruziboyev versus Brian Battle. Brian Battle missed weight at welterweight, I think twice. And they were like, all right, dude, you got to move up at least once. And then they're like, you got to move up to middleweight. And then he misses weight by like 4 pounds. And you're like,
what's going on
happening,
here, man?
So they canceled the fight. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they cut him or what. Probably not, but
yeah, I mean, he's a rising star, man. Brian Battle,
he's fun.
So I hope they don't cut him, but and we don't know what's going on. Maybe it's some type of health issue that's preventing him from being able to cut the weight. It might be the tiramisu. We just don't know. So hopefully it works out and he gets some more fights. Extra monies. Well, we had mentioned that Dana White went all yo chachi on us and started announcing the bonuses in the fights. But who got it?
Yeah, Tim Elliott got one for his dispatch of Kai Asakura, which is cool because this was the last fight on his contract. So they'll probably give him a nice little deal after this. Well, nice for,
I hope so.
for all things considered. And then I believe the next one is Prates got one. Yeah, Prates got one for his spinning back elbow. So your boy Lerone Murphy. Yeah, Muay Thai, chest tattoo. And then Lerone Murphy gets one for his spinning back elbow.
That's a good picture too.
Yeah. And then Khamzat gets one for smothering the fuck out of Dricus.
Yeah.
Just dominating him. And a lot of people are like, he shouldn't get a bonus for that. It was boring. And you're like, well, it was also
it was one of the most dominant performances.
Yeah, literally, it's the performance of the night bonus. That was one of the best performances of the night. It's not a finish bonus,
And, also want to give a shout out to our boy Landry Ward, friend of the podcast. Has hopped on multiple times. He's also helped co-host on, I think it was one of the times that you were out on leave, Will. Mm-hmm. And he had another fight last night, second first round finish in a row. This one in 49 seconds. So shout out to our boy, Lone Star Kid, Landry Ward. Do we have it? We got to have it, right, Will? Here we go. Nice footwork in. Boom. Cracks with the right, wobbles him. Guy turns into a wrestler all of a sudden. Few hammer fists to the temple, and the ref says, "No mas. Don't need to see any more."
Whew. Dude, his cross is so fucking sneaky, man. It's long, it's smooth,
it's fast.
It's a piston, man.
It is. And these last two fights, we've seen a big difference in the way that Landry is able to enter and exit really, really quickly. He looks a lot lighter on his feet. So whatever it is that he's working on in the gym, right, over at Killcliff, whatever he's doing is working, right? Props to Dieter Navarro as well as coach. They're doing some great things. 2 first-round finishes in a row. Maybe the UFC comes a knocking, man. We'll see.
Come on. At a certain point, you kind of need to. It's a little like we can't have them be fighting these guys on the regional scenes.
Yeah. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Contender series. Someone's getting hurt. 2 people have gotten hurt.
All right.
Ghost has a off the cuff question. Says, what did you think of people trashing Kevin Iole during his retirement? What do you guys think of Big Kev, shill or good journalist? Look, Kevin Iole is a company man through and through. To the point where he has had some negative impact, I think, as a journalist. So I understand why people were dunking on him when he retired. Some of the takes he's had have been detrimental to fighters, in my opinion. So I understand why people are like, fuck that dude. I personally wouldn't shit on him in retirement because it's just like, that's not something I would do to, I don't think he's like a bad person. It's just, I'm not going to shit on people publicly unless I think they're like a bad person. Shout out Bryce Mitchell. But then, but I understand it. And then what do you guys think of Big Kev, shill or good journalist? I don't think Big Kev. I'm thinking of Crazy Kev. I thought this was a 2-part question. Big Kev, Kevin Iole,
no,
and then
dude.
Crazy Kev. Yeah, Big Kev. Definitely a shill.
Vamos Ribovic. Murphy versus winner of Silva versus Lopez, while Mosvar fights Volk.
It sounds like they're just going to skip Evloev and just go straight Murphy to Volk. I think they passed him up. I think the train has moved. Him pulling
Silva
out of this
versus,
fight.
Evloev?
What was that?
Gene Silva versus Evloev?
I mean, the winner of Silva versus Lopez probably will do Evloev, I would imagine. I think that's the move. Right? Murphy will get the title shot. Winner of Silva versus Lopez will fight Evloev, which is a fun. Either one of those, very cool.
Go saying that's the best time to dunk on someone when they retire. Classic. Hey, next week, we're back to our UFC fight nights. This one is in China, is it?
Is this the Shanghai card?
I believe so. But we got Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. Ortega's back going up against Aljamain Sterling. That should be a fun fight. Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Not sure how I feel about that. Suma Darji, though. I love watching Suma Darji fight.
Boros is fun too. That's a
Who?
fun fight. Sumidarji versus
Yep.
Borges. That's a fun fight.
Yep.
Ooh, Kavanaugh versus Charles Johnson. Let's fucking go,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, your
Why
boy
is that on the
Charles Johnson,
prelims,
man.
dude? That fight's
Michał
sick.
Pereira is back.
Ooh,
Khaled
Rongzhu
Dawkins.
versus Austin Hubbard is actually fun too. That's gonna be
When's
they're
the
gonna
last time
fucking
we've seen the
swing and
Dawkins
bang.
boys fighting?
This is his return, short notice. He's filling in for who's he filling in for? I forgot. Tulio. Marco Tulio was supposed to fight Michel Pereira. He pulls out, so they got Dawkins just a couple days ago.
Okay.
But yeah, dude. Oh shit, my bad. Austin Hubbard versus Rongzhu is that's the sneaker sloppy banger fight. That's gonna be fucking crazy.
Nice. Well, hey, I'd like to thank everybody.
Valos is
joined
praying
us,
for Walker.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
He needs it.
He needs something, man. But again, anytime that I hear Johnny Walker's fighting, I want to watch that because you're going to see something
Yep.
that you've probably never seen before.
Oh yeah. Whether
You know?
it be a crazy post-fight celebration, crazy post-fight exit of the arena, a crazy exit of consciousness, you just never know.
The clip where he gets knocked out, I think it's like 5 times in the same fight.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, the inflatable man, KO.
Crazy.
Like, there's so many great Johnny Walker moments.
Yeah.
Maybe not for him, but I think that for a lot of people that like watching. But yes, shout out to everybody. Thank you so
Don't
much
say
for
you're in the
joining us this
desert.
week. Y'all made this week so much fun. I appreciate all the comments in the chat. Keep it going. Let anybody that likes talking combat sports, let them know to join us live. Let's talk about it. It makes it so fun. If you like listening, not necessarily watching, got other options, right, Will?
Yeah, if you just want to listen, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Podcast, anywhere podcasts are found, we're there. If you just want audio, but video is definitely the best way because then you can see Ramiro's bobblehead, you can see the knockouts, you can see pictures.
I didn't even know I did that.
I didn't know either.
Shout out James, thanks for letting me know, bro.
Yeah, and then we also get the privilege of chatting with y'all, and it does make the show better. So we encourage YouTube because the more people in the chat, the more new opinions or new ideas come to us that we maybe haven't thought about, and it makes the show more interesting, I think. So thank y'all.
Absolutely, and thank you all. Oh, actually, before I sign off, there's one more person I want to thank. That'd be none other than Mr. Richard Bustos, our producer in the background. Really appreciate what you do, and thank everybody for joining us.